This is a video to show teachers and students and anyone else who's interested in how to use EquatIO within Google Docs. So this is included in the free version of EquatIO, and if you're interested in any more information on that, I have a video on the difference between the free and the premium version, and I also have a video on how you can get the premium version for free as a teacher. But this particular area, Google Docs with EquatIO, is included in both versions. So the first thing you need to do is get the EquatIO extension, and I have another video on how to do that. So let's say that you already have it. It's right up here. It's a blue diamond showing up in your extensions, and I'm just going to click it while I'm in Google Docs, and it's going to immediately open. So now I have all of these different tools that I can use within Google Docs. It's really cool. So I'm just going to take you through each one of these buttons as we go along of things that I think you might use. So the first one is just the regular equation editor. So when I go here, it's very intuitive software, meaning that it knows what you're trying to do. So if I start typing square, like as in square root, it's going to start popping up with all of the different things that might start with those two letters. And I was looking for square root, so I'm going to click that. Then I'll put a 7, and then maybe I want to do -5 cubed. So I'm just going to start typing cubed, and it pops up instantly, cubed. So it's really user-friendly and very easy to predict what you're trying to make happen. So I'll put an equal sign. I'm just using the numbers on my keyboard right now. And then let's try x squared. There we go. Minus, and let's try a there we go. So look at, I've even put in the word fourth, and there's so many options. I can use the therefore dots in here. I can get a lot of different symbols happening. Theta. So there's a lot of different ways that I can insert math on here. So what do we do? Oops, sorry, I just added some brackets. What do we do when we've finally gotten to the point where we want to insert this into the worksheet that I might be making? So all I need to do is go down to the bottom right here and click Insert Math. And it's going to do its thing. It looks a little crazy for a second, and it's basically created an image of that math for you. So now you've got that question there. So it's really nice and easy. You can move them around on the page afterwards. So that's the regular equation editor. There's also some different areas you can change the text color. You can clear your page really easily. You can favorite an equation if you're using that equation a lot. And you can also go into the more area, and there's lots more options right in there. Okay, I'm going to skip over LaTeX because it's not a necessary thing to jump into right now. If you work with LaTeX, then you'll be able to figure that one out, I think. So let's go into the graph editor. It's actually linked up with Desmos. So if you're comfortable using the Desmos website, or you've used a Desmos calculator or the app, you will understand how this works as well. So you can actually create a graph and insert graphs on here. So let's give that a go. I'm going to do y equals 5x minus 7. And it immediately graphs it for me right there. Really cool. And then I can click plus, and there's a lot of different areas here. I can make a whole table. I can insert an image. There's a lot of different options here. And there's different settings. You can delete things, etc. So lots of different ways you can do it. Now, what do I do with this graph afterwards? I can click Insert Graph. And it's just taking a minute, doing its own thing. You don't have to do anything. And it's inserted the graph just for me, just how I've made it. So I can now change the size of the graph if I don't need it to take up that much space on the sheet. There we go. Okay, so that part's all done. So that's the graphing Desmos area right here, graph editor. Let's give this part a try. So this is the handwriting recognition. Now I am on a touch screen right now, so that's the only time this would come in handy is when you are using a touch screen device. So let's just see how it does with my messy. I'm just using my finger to do this right now, and it's adding onto the equation from before. So let's actually trash that and let's start over. Let's see what it can grasp. X cubed. I'm super messy here. And look, it knew what I was doing. Let's try square root of 7 minus 12. Okay, so if you were writing out your equations, if that's faster for you and you're used to doing it, but you'd like to have a neater version of what you're doing, you can handwrite it out and then it will turn into beautiful looking math. And again, you can just press insert math, and that's going to pop right onto your sheet there. It's just going to take a sec, and there it is. It's inserted. Okay, so that's the handwriting option. There are a few tricky things with the handwriting option in the free version compared to the premium version. I think there's a bit of a limit in the free version on how much handwriting you can do per day. So it might be something more that teachers are using. Okay, now the microphone. I love this one. So let's say you just wanted to talk your math out. I'm going to give this a try right now. Here's my record button. 5x squared minus 7 plus 2p. And I'm going to pause the speech. Okay, I didn't delete my previous equation. I've got to remember to do that. But here's what I just spoke out loud. And it did exactly as I said. So if you are someone that's more verbal, whether you're a teacher, a student, or anyone, I think that this is a really great option. So I've just entered down because you can also do that along here. You can create lots of math all at the same point. Let's try one more. Bracket 3 minus x, bracket minus 7 plus x squared. Okay, so pretty close. It didn't fully understand my bracket thoughts there, but I kind of threw it for a loop when I said minus instead of negative. So we'll leave that one alone. But again, you can just quickly edit it if it didn't quite grasp what you were saying. But the really nice part is that it's pulling that squared in there for you. You're not having to do any weird key commands to get things to be squared or cubed or anything like that. So that's the voice area. This is the EquatIO mobile area. So this is just how you enable it on your mobile device if you want to use it on your phone. And yes, that is available on the free version as well. So you just scan this QR code after you get the app. And then this is taking me into the EquatIO space. So I just clicked on, let's go back, this button here, insert math space. So when I clicked that, it opened up an entirely new window because EquatIO has its own little math space area. So this is just a place where maybe if you were teaching a lesson using math, you could just do that on here. You can share your screen and you can insert all the same things that I just showed you in the doc on this math space. And it's just a little extra user-friendly because it's not in the Google Docs situation. So that's another thing that you can play around with. Okay, and then lastly, there's a screenshot reader. So if you take a screenshot, it will attempt to read the math that is on it and do its best there. So those are the main tools within EquatIO in Google Docs. It's really handy, I think, especially for teachers, but it's also nice for students if they're wanting to make their work look a little bit tidier, or if they prefer using a computer versus writing it out by hand. So hopefully that is helpful. Please see my other videos on how to use this in some of the premium features like Google Forms. Thanks.